My name is Hom Nath Dhakal, and I was born in Gorkha, Nepal, a place known for its proud history. My life was initially set on a clear traditional path. As a member of the Brahmin caste, the highest of the 4 Hindu castes, my identity was deeply intertwined with our faith. I was a devout Hindu, completely committed to the traditions I had inherited. When I moved to Kathmandu for my studies, I encountered something that would subtly challenge the foundations of my life: Christian missionaries. I had actually met some in Gorkha previously, but it was the family I met in the capital that truly left an impression. They seemed genuinely happy, a quality that quietly intrigued me. I had studied the Bible as literature during my schooling, so I decided to revisit it, but this time, seriously. Since I was living with my aunt, who held a prominent position, I had to read the scriptures in secret. I also began visiting a small, clandestine Christian house group where people sang about Jesus' love. In Nepal, the idea of a Brahmin converting was seen as beneath us, not only socially but also religiously, particularly because of cultural differences like the Christian practice of eating beef, which is sacred to Hindus. Despite this, I felt compelled to compare the Hindu scriptures with the Bible. What ultimately struck me was the fundamental difference in the path to salvation. In Hinduism, it felt like an endless, laborious effort to earn my way to liberation. But the message of Christianity was revolutionary. Jesus came to save sinners, and salvation was a free gift, something you simply had to accept. I realized then that if I tried to earn it, I would surely fail. After 8 or 9 months of intense comparison and reflection, I reached a point of no return. I had no alternative but to surrender. In November 1982, in a moment of solitary conviction, I gave my life to Jesus. I knew my decision would complicate everything. I faced the immediate challenge that my family, society, and the Nepali government, where conversion was still illegal, would not accept it. Yet, the transformation in my life was undeniable. My family initially didn't believe the news, but when they did, they were deeply unhappy. Their worry was genuine, fearing I might end up in prison for my faith. I joined a small church in Kathmandu that began with about 30 converts. Over the next decade, it grew significantly. It was there I met Sharada, who came from a similar Brahmin background. Her father was a Brahmin scholar, and she too had come to faith after studying the Hindu scriptures alongside the Bible at nursing college. We even had to bring our wedding forward because we feared being arrested during a public Christian service. As a newlywed, the persecution became practical. In 1988, while working as a repair and maintenance supervisor at a government hospital, I was suddenly transferred to a remote location for an indefinite period. It was a deliberate attempt to separate me from my Christian friends, hoping my faith would simply disappear. In 1990, the political climate eased, making it legal to be a Christian, though proselytizing remained forbidden. Even then, the trouble didn't stop. One day, Sharada went to church and the entire congregation was arrested, accused of importing a foreign religion. It was Sharada herself who courageously approached the police officer and challenged the false claims. As one of the church leaders, I was determined to show that faith in Jesus didn't mean abandoning Nepali society. As a university lecturer and through my manufacturing company, I employed young Christians, demonstrating that they were productive, contributing citizens. We faced fear and resistance constantly. Once, during a house group in our home, the police visited our landlady. Out of fear, she demanded we move out that very night at 10 p.m. After meeting her again, I pleaded our case. When the police returned, accusing us of converting people, I stood firm and convinced them that only God has the power to convert a human soul. Through it all, I never felt fear. I realized that the persecution was not a bad thing. It bound us together and taught us to rely on nothing and no one but God. Between 1992 and 1995, my family and I moved to Bolton, England, where I completed a degree in mechanical engineering. We later returned to the UK in 2001 so I could pursue a master's at the University of Portsmouth. Though we initially planned to go back to Nepal, the political situation worsened just as I was offered funding for a PhD. Today, I work as a senior lecturer in materials and manufacturing at the University of Portsmouth. My wife, Sharada, and our 2 sons worship at St. Jude's Church in Southsea, where I regularly lead intercessions. Looking back, I recognize that some of the cultural things I strictly avoided when I first converted were more about Nepali culture than the Hindu religion, and I regret any pain I caused my family then. Today, however, my family respects my faith. My lifelong plan remains the same. Wherever I am, I want to witness for Jesus. The world feels smaller now, allowing me to support the Nepali churches from here, churches that have grown to an estimated 500,000 Christians today. My hope is to eventually start a Christian fellowship group for people from South Asia right here in Portsmouth, as we have such a strong cultural connection to share the love of Christ. I can truly say that the difficulties only serve to make my faith stronger, proving the unconditional love I first discovered in that secret reading of the Bible.